Hello, hello. I think I have a new idea about God. I think God does not exist.
That's not a new idea. That's the
No,
foundation of
no,
my
I
entire channel.
no. I differ from you in that you call yourself an agnostic atheist,
Hmm.
but I think God doesn't exist. Let me tell you why.
So you're
You are
making the
sitting.
claim that God does not exist.
Yeah, let me tell you why.
Okay.
You are currently in a dark room, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
If I ask you, is there an ant? You know,
Hmm.
Chiti, is there
Hmm.
an ant in your room?
Yes.
You cannot say you may be you may not be sure, right?
Okay, let's go with it. Actually, I can see an ant in my room right there, but that's beside the point. Your argument remains. Go on.
Okay, let's assume a huge auditorium,
Hmm.
and if I ask you, is there an ant in this auditorium?
Hmm.
Not one individual is going to be confident enough to say yes or no. But
Hmm.
if I say, is there a dinosaur
Hmm.
in that auditorium?
Hmm.
Everyone would say a no, because dinosaur, if it existed, it would have been evident for everyone to see, right?
Hmm.
Because and I'm equating that with God, because God is such a huge idea that God controls the world, that God helps those who help themselves. It's
Hmm.
so imbibing in our life that if there was if there was any, even 1/10 of God existed, it should have felt us in some way. In fact,
Yeah.
we have.
No, no, I agree with you. But I think the point of disagreement I will have is that we know the definition of ant, we know the definition of dinosaur. If someone said, is there a dinosaur? I can form a mental image of a dinosaur and look around to see if my mental image matches with something I see. But the problem with God is that every person you speak to has a different definition. And it's very slippery also. Some people will say God is an actual being. Some people will say God is not a being. Some people will say God exists outside the universe. So the reason I say agnostic atheist is because I want to remain open to whoever comes to me to discuss this stuff, right? If I say God does not exist, I am rejecting one definition of God, and maybe the next person has a different definition of God. Because there are people who say, I think the universe itself is God. And in that case, the discussion becomes not about the existence of God, but about, what is the usefulness of using the word God to define the universe. So these discussions are not very binary. These discussions end up being complicated because people are complicated. People find very strange, different ways to define God or the role of God in reality or their life. Some people might say God is just an idea in my head, and I'm okay with that. In that case, what am I going to say? No, there is no idea in your head, right? So it depends on the definition. God का problem है कि उसका clear definition है ही नहीं.
Okay, but if a person, let's say there are 100 people in this world, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
and 90 of them believe in unique God. Each of them have a unique idea of God.
Hmm.
Okay, if you if you inquire each one of them,
Hmm.
if you inquire each one of their definition,
Hmm.
and then say this idea has not just it lacks evidence, but we have evidence contrary to it. Then
Hmm.
if you complete that survey to all 90 people,
Hmm.
would that be enough to say yes, God does not exist? Can we make that claim?
Yes. Yes. In that case, you will be right. But there are not 100 people in the world. This discussion will not end by addressing every single claim.
Okay,
Because
but
एक और चीज दो चीज
okay,
होगी. If there are 100 people, you can get to the end of it, right? But you
yeah,
can't get to the end of every person in the world addressing their God concept, because in the real world, what happens is that you've started talking to the first person, then second. By the time you get to 90, person number 50 and 40 have changed their definition altogether. They've gone to a
exactly.
different way of thinking. So that is not how this will work. It's
Yeah,
it's nice to form an intellectual, mental experiment कि 100 लोग हैं, मैंने 100 को समझा दिया मतलब हो गया. अगर 100 लोग हैं और तुमने 100 को समझा दिया तो हो जाएगा. पर 100 लोग नहीं है.
yeah, yes, exactly. Thank you.
चलो, बाय बाय.